Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm your host, Christopher Tarantola, and we are playing 1.2 pre-release. And I got an issue. I had an issue when we launched our last satellite. This is it. Back in the VAB, the one that I sent up there is still up there. But it had just a horrendous time. Um, with being able to burn straight. And so I'm thinking what I need to do, first of all, is I need to add one of these inline reaction wheels here. And I'm wondering if it's off balance. So let's take a look. Let's see, is it off balance? So there's our center of mass, and I don't know, it looks pretty centered to me. I mean, it might be off center a little bit, but if it is, I mean, I can't tell. I wouldn't think enough to create the issues that I seem to have been having. So I'm not sure if I and how to better balance this thing. How much is this way? Mass is 0.015, and then this is 0.07, so that's a little bit off there. What else might be causing the issue? You know, that is 0.005, and it doesn't have a counterpart on the other side. I doubt that that was causing an issue. Never caused an issue for something like that before. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to be symmetrical. I'm going to be as symmetrical as I can be. So let us double this. Like so. I don't know. Yeah, we want to leave it like that for now because we don't have fairings. And then this guy. Oh, no, we don't want to triple, just double. Double it. And then we can put this on here like that. And have two just for the sake of being balanced. So save for this up here, which is about as balanced as I think you could make that. Everything should be symmetrical on this craft, and so it should not have any issues. Plus, we have greater control authority, so this ought to work better, I'm hoping. We are having some issues with so now, before the strut went through the antenna, now it is attaching to the antenna, which is an issue. So let us get this strut. We'll bring it to here and to there. No, we're still connecting to the antenna. It's not what we want. There we go. So that ought to work. So that's our new craft. I'm going to call it O2 to be extremely original. And yeah, I think that's all we should be doing on this thing. We do have better tail fins now, so I don't know. Do we want to maybe put these on here instead? Give us greater control while we're going up in the atmosphere. I think that's about it. Alright guys, so we're going to try this out. Okay, we default at max throttle here. We turn on our SAS, check our staging right one last time before we go, and let's go. So again, we're just trying to make this to the moon, and there's a satellite contract that we're trying to fulfill with this, which is why we have the mystery goo on this satellite. And then once it's in orbit, we will utilize it as a relay. Really crawling the frame rate here. Yeah, it's all these particle effects at the beginning that really kills it. Looks awesome though. I mean, it looks amazing. I love the effects, but my computer just has a hard time handling it. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Now we're getting at least a normative. I wouldn't say reasonable because I still think it's extremely low, but a normative frames per second. Let's start tapping my yaw, which is the D key in this case. Just try and do a nice, slow, easy-going gravity turn. You know, the way I look at gravity turn is about at 1,000 altitude, I want to be right about at the first hash mark here, or this hash mark here. Then at 2,500, I want to be there. At 5,000, I want to be there. 10,000, I want to be at the 90-degree mark, which is really the 45-degree mark. That's just 90 degrees is the direction I'm going, which is east. So it seems like it's working a little bit better. My turn is happening a little bit faster than I'd like it, but it's, as you can see, pretty hard to keep this thing stable. These winglets give it a lot at once, so it's hard to be finessed. So we're a little bit further down our gravity turn than I'd like to be, but as long as we stick with that 45-degree mark until about 20,000 altitude, 20-kilometer altitude. Man, I'm just having to really work the babysit this sucker a little bit to keep it from going too far off course here. Got my inclination back to where I want it, or more or less where I want it. Yeah, okay, so now about where prograde is about where I want to be. That's good. So we're stabilizing out. We want to be as close to prograde as possible when we separate these boosters here, so that the boosters will just go out and not hit our craft. If you're off of prograde, they'll have a tendency to hit your craft, and that usually ends up running your vehicle. Alright, so right at 10,000 here, so we should be right at the 45-degree mark, rather. Going on up. Alright, we're just about out of solid fuel. We'll wait for that to actually run out. I'm pointing as close to prograde as possible, which happens to be the direction that I actually want to be pointing. And as you can see, narrowly we do escape any RUD on our main craft here. So I'm going to burn 45 degrees until this gets to 20. I also have a desire to keep an eye on my... I right-click over it to keep it to stay up. I want to keep an eye on my apoapsis as well. And this gives me my altitude. So now I want to be about right where the prograde is. About 40,000 apoapsis now. I go by the apoapsis and not the altitude at this point. I want to be about halfway, about 55. I want to be approaching the horizon, 55 kilometers that is. And at about, then once you approach the horizon, you want to burn for as long as you can to bring up your periapsis as close as you can, and basically you're starting to get to orbit. So you notice I'm also starting to get above my atmosphere here, and I'm about out of the atmosphere completely, my apoapsis. I'll go up to about 80 here, and that gives me a nice long arch, right? And so I can do better. I've done better before, but that is very, very happy. I'm just under 2,000 meters per second. So when I get up to my apoapsis, I'm going to need to add, I think, about 400 meters per second, maybe 5, something like that. And you notice that my speed is going down because I have atmospheric wind resistance that I'm still enduring. The spacecraft is, and so I need to just keep that in mind, and so that's why it might be a little bit more than the math would indicate. I'm going to go ahead and time warp this up, and we are approaching space, so I'll slow it back down. Once you cross that threshold of space, you know you've crossed it when you start hearing the music, but also by the time you get to 70,400, I think, and I'm right at the apoapsis, so I should really be burning it directly prograde, but I wanted to go ahead and start it. So I'm pushing my apoapsis forward a little bit. I don't necessarily want to be doing that, but it's going to happen a little bit once you circularize, and without the benefit of maneuver nodes, it's very difficult to get it more precise than what we just did. But that will work just fine. And so now, to get to the moon, we just wait till we get to about right here, and then we'll burn. You can see there's the comms relay 01, and it needs to be renamed because it won't be Munar very long. We're going to go ahead and F5 this, and fast forward to get around. You only have 50 times time warp, which I wish it would be up to 100. I think even my computer could handle up to 100, but I don't know. Maybe they've tried it and it starts breaking the thing. So here we go. Go back to what is this called? Staging mode. Normal view, and you wait till you actually see the moon. There it is on the horizon. We are on the dark side, but we're also facing retrograde, so we need to place prograde now that we see the moon. And it doesn't have to be like as soon as the moon peeks out from behind the thing, but no, right about then we need to burn prograde essentially. So now my probe is going to burn prograde. I'm not sure if I will finish this stage or not, but I'm thinking so. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be finishing the stage, which is just as well. So I'll let that go. And now we're at our smaller stage. And this is a much, much more stable craft. Whoa, I've burnt a little bit too much though. I've gotten to carbon escape. I wasn't paying enough attention to that. So now I got to burn retrograde, burn some delta V. Until I get a moon capture again. Okay, there's our moon capture. Now let's get our periapsis like somewhat close. Okay, now let's target the moon and focus view. And we want to get this on the other side of the moon. So we're going to keep on burning retrograde here. We're a little bit off inclination, so we need to take that into account. Oh. Whoa. Oh, that was less than optimal. Well, don't mash the Windows button and don't hit the Z button when you don't intend to. Those are things that I would highly recommend you do not do if you want to uh, have an efficient um, craft. That's just a suggestion. You do what you want, but I I do recommend that you avoid those mistakes. I don't know why I brought that up. It just kind of hit my head. I'm not sure, but okay. So here we go. So now this is approaching where we want it to be. Now remember to get into an orbit, you want to try and intersect, have your path intersect the path that you're trying to become, so to speak. And so I'm going to F5 this. And then I got to try and see about changing my inclination. Um, if I burn this way, is it going to get us the direction we want to go? Not really. What if I burn the other way? Remember, I don't have to meet it out here, but I probably will want to. So now I'm gonna, I think, retrograde here. Yeah, retrograde. And then burn this way a little bit more, I think. Nope, wrong one. Damn it. And now I want to burn prograde a little bit. Yeah, and that's getting pretty close there. I probably need to wait till I'm actually at the descending node, but I'm not sure where the descending node would be, because the descending nodes that's showing are for after I enter and then exit out and come back around. This would be for the next loop around. So what I'll probably need to do is when I'm about right here, change my inclination and then do a burn to change it around. It's going to be hard without maneuver nodes. So I'm going to F5 this. Um, I have enough cash that I think what I'm going to want to do is go back to the Space Center while that's flying over to the moon. I think I want to upgrade. Used to be that one upgrade of the tracking station would give you maneuver nodes, but I think they've changed that for 1.2. You can see that we have a relay network shown here. You can see that both satellites are connecting to multiple points on Kerbal. There's the Space Center, there's a northern, a couple equatorial, and there's a southern. I think there's 5 or 6 in all. And they're actually, like, if you go to this point on the map or um, this point on the map, there's actually a relay station there that there's a model and everything, which is nice. There's new buildings on Kerbal, which is kind of cool. And you can change the way you see the network. So no network, um, and then com network. Oh, okay. So in map view, you when you're at a vessel, you can change it to some intermediate versions, but it's just like on or off, I guess. So anyway, we're gonna, I think, upgrade this facility. And so right click, upgrade. Actually, I don't really have enough. Max DSN power 50G. Patch conics visible in map on object tracking. So I'm not sure how to get my. We need to enter it anyway to get back to our craft. I'm not sure how to upgrade to get my maneuver nodes. I would really like to be able to get those maneuver nodes because they would be helpful. Wonder if I'm doing something wrong if they've changed the way maneuver nodes happen. Because like I have none. Like I have none. No. Oh yeah. No maneuver nodes. I miss them. I want them. Give them to me. Okay. Well, we'll at least fast forward till we get into the moon's orbit. We'll have to wait till we get some more cash. Okay, so now we're in the sphere of influence of the moon. Okay, so now I need to, if I'm pointing directly at this thing, and then that's prograde, I want to burn towards the North Pole. I want to burn this way. Yeah, okay. I'm going to double click on the moon to focus on the moon. Be easier to see this happen the way I want to, and that's perfect. That's happening exactly like I wanted it to. So I just need to make sure that I'm crossing. And it's going to be much harder without my maneuver nodes, but we'll try it out. We'll figure it out. So I think I also want to burn east. I'm not sure. I'm going to try burning really radial. Yeah, so that's going to make that periapsis also the tangential point at which we cross. And so we need to go back over here to move it up a little bit more. There we go. So I'm going to F5 that. Then when I get to the periapse, or when I'm approaching the periapse, I'm going to burn retrograde to basically get into orbit. And then if I need to, I'll probably have to do a fine-tuning burn afterwards, because I'll either start too early or too late, and so I'll need to correct that at one point. So again, F5, just because I don't remember if I F5 after getting it where I wanted it to. And I'm going to time warp over here. Okay, now where is my retrograde? There it is. And so I'm just going to burn retrograde now. Okay, I'm moving my periapse, so I'm going to wait a little bit. Much closer to my periapse now, so now I'm going to burn retrograde again. And we have 0 inclination difference, which is great. I'm just going to try and walk this in. And wow, that's about as good as you get right there. I'm pretty proud of myself doing that without maneuver nodes. Okay, so let's see. We just achieved our contract, right? So position a satellite in equatorial orbit of the moon. We have that complete, so we can move on from that. Now here's the comm network. See, none. Then you just have the first hop, so that's the first connection. If I had a relay, I would imagine it would just go to that relay. That's the path, so I imagine if I had a relay, it would go from that to the relay to that dot. Vessel links, so that's all the different links to the vessel, and then the entire network, so it's all the different links to all of the different vessels. Yeah, so I think path, or maybe vessel links, no, I want to go to path. That's where I think I want to keep it. Okay, so we're going to F5 there, and then, you know, being in an equatorial orbit is great, but we would really like to have another one in a polar orbit, and then another one in a polar orbit 90 degrees to that. What that would do for us is make it between the 3 satellites in the 3 directions, basically. You would never have all 3 satellites be behind the moon at once, or if you did, it would be for such it would be such a rare event that essentially you have a great comms network for the moon and for ostensibly the entire Kerbal system, I would imagine. I don't know, but okay. So here's our first one. I'm gonna jump to it. Let's take a look at how it's ended up. So it's got a pretty funky view. I have no a pretty funky orbit, I should say. I have a feeling that it will interact with the moon at one point again at this point in its orbit, and so no telling what's going to happen to it. I'm going to leave it though. I'm not going to delete it because I'm interested to see A and B. if we go to it, it does have a relay, and it has power and the ability to recharge. We can log temperature and send that in for a little bit of science. Hey, 3 science added, I'll take it. So yeah, not a complete failure, but definitely not a success either. So I'm gonna point this uh, towards the radial, and the reason why is so that well, where's the sun at? Where is it? Directly behind me. I want to point it basically up and down towards this, relative to the sun, right? So what that's going to do is, as it orbits around, all of these will have um, enough exposure to the sunlight to maintain electrical charge. So that's the idea with that. I think, nope, not this way. Nope, there we go. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So F5 that, and I didn't. Let's focus view back on this. I did not. There it is. Let's switch back to this. Oh, I need to rename it too. But I did not. Yeah, I did not extend these. I want to extend these antennas. I don't know if that actually matters or not. Auto strut, heaviest part. I'm not sure what the auto strut is yet. I've looked for it online and I can't find it. So I really like to know what auto strut's all about. I'm also going to put this in a orientation that will keep it with the sun now. Again, I don't know that the direction that these point matters. Ostensibly in real life, it would matter, and if having 2 pointing down like that would be silly. But I don't know. That's what we got, so that's how it's going to be. We'll see if that matters, but that's comms relay 02, and I think that's a fine name. We'll switch back to this, and we're just going to take off the Munar and rename it a comms relay. Rename vessel. And we're going to also call it failed. That way we know that this which one this is. Okay. So that's our episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please subscribe and like the video. And I will be doing more of this preview until I get a good feel of what the new features are. I'm going to do my best to find out what AutoStrut means. And then we'll keep going. So I'll talk to y'all later.